Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And today's video is a tag video. I was tagged by my brother Ace Vendetta Smell Better Fragrances. I'm going to link him in the description down below. I'm also going to go ahead and tag Pete at Fun with Fragrances, Paul at 50 cents, and after that I'm just going to leave it an open tag. I'm just going to tag you guys. I'm a little late catching up on this one anyway, so I know it's already been making its rounds. Without further ado, I'm going to get right into the list here. This is keep one niche fragrance from each house. So I've selected 7 somewhat better known brands here. I think we've got Mancera, Tom Ford's Private Blend, Parfums de Marly, Creed, Xerjoff, and Amouage, and Roja Dove. So starting the list off with the Xerjoff fragrance. So I'm not quite the biggest fan of the some of the fragrances I've tried from them for the summertime, that being Renaissance and 40 Knots. Both of those were a little bit too creamy, powdery, and dense for my taste for the high heat. Renaissance actually has been growing on me though, because that denseness kind of holds on to the citrus throughout the wearing experience, which is really nice for a citrus fragrance, for it to last and remain as sparkly as it does. So Renaissance has definitely been growing on me, but so far my favorite from the house, because it's worn in a season where that kind of sweet, more creamy, textural, Play-Doh-y style feel is appreciated in the autumn, that is Naxos from Xerjoff. So really nice sort of aromatic lavender and tobacco with like a honey sweetness. So tobacco, lavender, and honey are all sort of definitive notes for me in the autumn time, and this is sort of a definitive fragrance. Still, it opens up a little bit sweet, but the cool thing about this one is that it starts to bloom a lot more with its aromatic character, with the kind of almost like green tobacco and the green lavender in here, and then that honeyed sweetness just plays so well in the autumn time, sort of that whole harvest season running its course from the end of summer all the way up through Thanksgiving. Excellent stuff from Xerjoff. This is Naxos. And the next one, a really easy, dumb reach niche fragrance for the summertime, but can be worn year-round. It's kind of like a blue fragrance, really sparkly, sort of Sprite 7-Up style citrus and fizziness at the top, a really beautiful minty quality, as well as a strong creamy lavender. This is none other than Parfums de Marly Sedley. So tested this one out, got a sample of it, did enjoy it quite a bit, a little bit more than Lattafa's Mahir Legacy. That one's got a little bit better projection and longevity, I feel, but the wearing experience with this one's a lot less rough, a lot less synthetic. Even though I think both are great fragrances, this is, you know, I'm glad that I have this one and not a clone. That being said, this is going to be my go-to from the house. I've only tried this one, Greenlee, and Leighton. I own Leighton in this one. I've sampled Greenlee. I'm probably going to try and, if I had the money, I'd own everything from every brand, but this is my go-to from Parfums de Marly right now, Sedley. Okay, from the Tom Ford Private Blend, I've actually only tried 2, I believe. This one in Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille I do enjoy, but it's a little bit more on the sweet side for my taste. This one, however, balances it perfectly with a really nice, dense, foggy, almost tobacco, with some sweetness coming in from some rum and some other brilliantly blended facets here. This is Tobacco Oud. I believe it's been discontinued, but I still see it pop up at Fragrance Net and Joma Shop from time to time. Definitely get this one for the upcoming fall and winter season if you can. This is one of my top niche fragrances in my collection, point blank, period. Smells to me like the fog machines that they play at like high school dances and concerts and stuff like that. If you ever stood in front of one of those, there's almost this kind of sweet quality to the smoke that they have. This somewhat resembles that to me, and I absolutely adore it, and actually has gotten me quite a few compliments. Definitely for the fall and winter though, it's quite suffocating in the high heat. Made that mistake once. Okay, from the house of Roja Dove, I have actually only tried 2. I've tried the Elysium Cologne, Elysium Parfum Cologne, and this one, and this is by far my preference out of the 2. This is Oceania. Really enjoy the packaging and presentation here. This one does come down to like sub $200 on Joma Shop from time to time. I paid close to full retail for this one, just because couldn't find it at a discounter, and I absolutely loved it so much after sampling it, so I didn't mind you know, forking it over. This is really like a nice, there's a watery quality in here from a violet, but other than that it's not really aquatic. It's got a really nice powdery floral component though, and an almost like crystallized shaved ice, lemon lime shaved ice over the top. One of my go-to for summertime, no doubt, and my favorite from the house of Roja Dove in my collection currently. Alright, so from the house of Amouage next. This one was a little bit difficult for me to narrow down. I enjoy all 3 that I own from the house, the other 2 being Overture Man and Jubilation Man. I decided to go with this one because it's the most versatile, easy to wear, and actually the only one out of the 3 that I own that is in one of the older formulations where they engraved the name of the fragrance on the neck. This is Reflection Man. Just kind of a really nice powdery clean laundry. Smells very well kept, office appropriate, a little soapy like, a little bit more of a spicy Prada L'Homme, you could say, with a little bit more of a grown-up feel to it. The sweetness is a little bit toned down compared to Prada L'Homme. The cold quality is a little bit more toned down. It's a little bit more of a warm fragrance, but absolutely stunning stuff. And like I said, it's from one of the older formulations from the house, which is why I decided to hold on to this one. Okay, from the house of Mancera, perhaps no surprise, this is Cedrat the original. So I actually prefer this over the Intense. The Intense I find to be a little bit too syrupy in its textural presentation for me. I think that makes it a little bit more youthful, despite its like more dense, rugged, rich components that could be construed as being more mature with the leather pronouncement in that one. I just feel like it's a little bit more syrupy and it makes it youthful. This one, the musk is a little bit more breathable and a little bit lighter and a little bit easier to wear, and the citruses in here have a much more sparkly brightness to it, and makes it a lot more friendly, easy to enjoy, and mass appealing for me. The only other ones I've tried from the house are the Intense of this, Red Tobacco, the original, and Hindu Kush. Hindu Kush I'm still kind of trying to open up to, but it's right now also a little bit sweet, so my go-to for Mancera is the original Cedrat Boisé. And finally, the 7th and final house here, the house of Creed, another one that I had a very difficult time narrowing it down. I think this might be one of my favorite niche houses. They're just so easy to wear, fresh, clean, invigorating, mature, high quality. Even though the performance has been neutered over time, at least what people say, I've got more or less the newest formulations of each bottle in my collection from Creed. But this one, it is the most expensive. However, it is also my favorite, and one that I just have those moments at the atomizer where I just cannot tear myself away from it, and that is Royal Oud. Should be named Royal Cedar because there's not really an oud accord in here other than an homage to woodiness, but it's predominantly a very, very beautiful cedar, and then a very nice sparkly sort of lemony, citrusy opening that makes this a very vibrant fragrance, but then there's a certain sweetness in here as well. I forgot whether it's like an amber accord or some other resinous qualities, and then a certain green foresty aspect as well. I think an angelica or galbanum, one of those two in the mid, makes this almost like a misty sort of mountainous forest with this beautiful cedar and this certain warmth to it that is like almost like a warm hug. I've seen a lot of people say this is somewhat of like a Christmas fragrance because you do get these little bit of spicy quality in here, fresh spicy quality, and that warm hug feeling that you just get around the way that the holidays used to be before they got sort of commercialized, the kind of golden age of the holiday season. I don't know if that even exists, but you know, in my memory there's something resembling that, and this sort of evokes that sentiment, I would say. Very beautiful fragrance though, and I just feel like some of the reviews I've seen of this do give it somewhat, they've associated it with just like a grandpa, like a very kind grandfather, or like Santa Claus in Christmas time, wise old man with a jolly attitude, but you know, also has this stuff together. Maybe he's got a nest egg put away, very wealthy, but is generous with his wealth, I would say, is what this fragrance really comes to mind, and is one of the reasons why it's my favorite from the house. Hard toss up between this and Aventus Cologne though, because that one's so much of a dumb reach, but this one I could easily make a signature. So that was my keep one from each niche house tag video. Thank you again, Ace, for putting me into this one. I had a lot of fun kind of narrowing this down and picking out this list. I'm looking forward to seeing what others come up for this one, and inspiring me to maybe make some more niche focused videos in the future. So I appreciate you all sticking with me to the end of this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.